music thing again. What the hell? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night. On the internet, welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel. Could you hear the intro at least? I'm sure the intro played, right? I guess I didn't click that button that says play the music, even though the music was playing in my ears. And sometimes I don't always look at the monitor because I'm doing other stuff over here on this screen, and I don't look over here and I'm like, oh, there's no music. Anyway, you are very far away. What do you mean? Like a long time ago, very far away? Like I'm in I'm in the galaxy chasing a moon thing. Anyway, no, just a burst of sound. I gotcha. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It is it's Hump Day, the 2nd of October, 2024. Just a couple days before my son's birthday, and also the anniversary of the birth of my dad, who I grew up with, my adoptive father, and I'll be honoring him later in the week, and my son this week, and all kinds of stuff. But we have stuff to talk about here because there was a big debate last night, and pretty much everything I have open article-wise is related to that, except for a couple news items that I found might be interesting to you. Just they were interesting to me, so we're gonna get to most of it because I don't have a ton of tabs open. I'll drop the link to my favorite aggregator though, because I think JJ Sefton has quite the bevy of news that I'm not going to get to. So, but today we're going to talk about this guy and the other guy, the JD Vance and Tim Walz, and we're also going to. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure these tabs work. Oh, I almost knocked my microphone off. Sure these tabs are open when I get to it. Okay, there we go. We're good. And I'll leave the aggregator in the links today too, just because. Oh wait a minute, what the hell is that? Why does that move over there? That should be a Breitbart link. What is that? That's not. There we go. Okay, I fixed that. So yeah, we're gonna now whether you watched the debate last night or not, there's plenty of reaction. There's some highlights, and I ended up watching it this morning. And it's kind of weird. These debates, supposedly these moderators are, supposed to be, they're supposed to be neutral, right? But it was again, another debate where if you're just a layman, you might think, oh, yeah, they're just trying to clarify things in the debate. But I noticed last night, even though the moderators only once decided to try to fact check JD Vance, every framing of every question, of every comment between questions, everything was geared toward supporting the Harris-Walz ticket. And it's so annoying just watching it. Their bias is so obvious to me because I listen to how they frame everything. They frame everything in a light that, again, would be supportive of the Walz, Harris-Walz position. And it's like, now, by the way, JD Vance, I thought, did a fabulous job last night. And some people, it's funny because one of the things trending today was liar, liar, Vance on fire. But no, Vance didn't lie about anything last night. He was pretty good. And we're watching a boomer talk about two old people debating. JD Vance isn't that old. JD Vance is much younger than I, and I am a cusper. I'm not a boomer. I'm the last boomer, but I'm the first Gen Xer. Okay, is that okay? Get it straight. I'll not call myself the last boomer. Anyway, there was interesting things about the debate, so we'll get into that. But first, we're going to say hi to everybody, and then we'll talk about some news. Share the stream if you haven't done so already. I'm removing the pinned thing here, so you can visually see what I see. Do you see what I see? If you scroll all the way up. Let's say hi and get this show on the road. First in the chat today is Mr. Cara Soldier. What are you doing there first? How'd that happen? That's a good thing. Oh no, I lied. I just noticed. Oh my God. I'm embarrassed. Okay, I am a boomer. Fine. I'm sorry. First in the chat today is Mr. Mike Savage. Blarg! Oh my gosh, I feel bad. Is there a button you want to hit for me there, Johnny Boomer Tech?
Your life makes me sad.
Yes, I'm sure it does. Shut up. Yada. Anyway, also good morning, Kara Soldier and Lord Stanhope. Special can acids in the house. I said Lord Stanhope. What the hell? Don Julio, I keep wanting to say commander, but commandant of trash. Commandant. I said Lord Stanhope. Is it the same? Oh, Willie's here. Willie won't. Last night was amazing. Yeah, it was interesting. JB's in the house. Rick Ashbringer, Attack Alpaca. Maddie's in the house. Hi, Maddie. My other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, is here. Johnny Boomertech, of course. We'll pin the donation link because I need you to give donations. You don't have to. Also, good morning to Green Badger Outdoors. Zero the cruise hero. Wait a minute. Why are you a cruise hero now? I don't know what that means. Zero the heroes in the house. Hi. Ravon Harris is here. Hello. My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony. And Jess. Oh, J.H. Phillips. That's my son-in-law. Greatest guy in the world. And Adeline and Renee Mayette. We all witnessed a homicide last night. Well, a homicide, I don't know. If you are supporting the ticket in the red, you thought it was a great night for the red ticket. If you're supporting the ticket in the blue, you got the talking points that you wanted. And I thought it was fairly even, although I think, obviously I lean to the red side of that spectrum. I'm not on the spectrum, but and so that is I thought Tim Vance. JD Vance, I did a fabulous job, and I think some undecided voters will be swayed by the vice presidential debate. Find him. Look, here's one of the things that was clear from this debate last night. That so-called weird label that they were trying to pin on JD Vance. Yeah. If you're seeing JD Vance for the first time and you're going, well, why were they calling him weird? He's not weird. He's a pretty normal guy. He's a pretty normal Republican dude. Nothing weird about him. But then you would look at the other side and you're going, wow, this Tim Walz guy, he is a little weird. He's a little weird. And I know he's tries to be cheerleader kind of type, try to be Mr. Coach. But he comes off at weird at times, and some of the things he said definitely were weird. So we'll get into that in a second. First, good morning also. Shrapnel's in the house. Somnambule Nation. Annal in. Welcome to the show. Did I say hi to JB yet? JB, you too. Hell yeah, our house is in the middle of the street. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house. Yeah, you mentioned a song from the 80s or early 90s. I'll probably sing it. So let's not start mentioning songs, though. Vance, 7525 Walls. And I'm being generous to Walls, and only because I understood all the words he said. The weird thing about JD, he looks like he tweezes his beard. Like it's too perfect. Is that what you're saying? Is his beard too perfect? He's a little too floppy for me to see him as an actual man. I'm pretty sure he's closeted because, I've never gotten that impression. Look, the guy you see in these debates, in the ads, in the rallies, whatever, Tim Walz, that's not the Tim Walz we know in Minnesota. And it's kind of weird, it's kind of weird. So let's get into on this show though. Obviously, things trending on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, it's Hump Day, and unfortunately, this Hump Day, as I went to scroll down, I started seeing body parts way too soon and way too many. So I got to be super duper careful with the Hump Day post. Let's just use this one because this one is fair. No music. We'll just do this. This dog jumping in the leaves on hump day. This is a very happy dog, and the dog is very happy it's hump day. This is hilarious. I love this. This is so cute. The dog jumping in the leaves. So happy hump day. That's your hump day picture. But as you scroll down, you start, and then here Trump Vance, and then I'm voting for the felon and the hillbilly. That's pretty funny. And then here's the safe hump day post. I've got that, but if I two more down, you're looking at body parts that you don't need to see. So happy hump day. The same thing with, so that's the hump day Twitter trending topic, but also happy hump is trending, and this one's even worse because the very first one is showing body parts, but they cover it up as it turns around. It's one of those animated things, so I got to skip that. And I don't like this one because it looks like oh, wait a minute. Okay, this is a okay, stop. I do got to show you this one. This is funny. It's hump day, and this is a phone charger. Okay, I want to show you this very special hump day phone charger. Did anyone else? Well, listen, my daughter's here too, and my granddaughter says, "Bub, I gotta be careful from swearing." Hello, Lissa. Good morning. That's my daughter, the Paul Lissa, and I gotta be careful. I can't swear now. Dang it. Anyway, here's a phone charger that on hump day that is actually kind of funny, even though it's Oh, Lord, some of the things that people come up with. All right. And then, anyway, if you dare scroll on those topics as I drop these links in the chat at the end of the show, you'll see what I mean by the problem with hump day body parts, which I have no desire to put on my screen. All right. Also, today, why did I put this first? Let me skip. I got to move this over. Hang on. I got to fix this. Today is also the Rosh Hashanah. If you're familiar with the Jewish holidays, it's known as the Jewish New Year. And so here we go. Here someone says, soon we will gather around the holiday table to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. May the coming year be one of hope and security. May it be a year which will bring home our hostages, destroy our enemies in the south and north, and return the citizens of the north to their homes. That's interesting. I don't disagree with that sentiment either. Good morning, Mr. X51. Thanks for tweeting out the show this morning. Let's hear this message. Is this here? Let me see.
Dear friends, soon we will all gather around the table to celebrate Rosh Hashanah. This year was a painful year. We will think about the hostages. We will think about the residents of the North who cannot celebrate with their families. And we will think about our soldiers who are fighting for our security. I hope that next year we will be able to celebrate with the hostages that will come back to their families, with the people of the North who will go back to their homes, and with our brave soldiers who will return to their families. May God will give us the strength to win this war and to allow the people of Israel to live safely in Eretz Israel.
All right, so me not being Jewish, I don't necessarily know the significance of the horn, but I do wish a happy New Year to my Jewish friends. And or another way you could do it is say Shana Tova, and so Shana Tova is also trending. Lots of people posting Shana Tova today. This is Shana Tova to our brave soldiers. We love you. Shana Tova, have a sweet New Year, so on and so forth. I think honey is one of the things that you traditionally consume on the Jewish New Year. Now, this is funny because not funny. I mean, here's a sad scene though. Nothing and nobody will stop this nation to be happy and celebrate life. This is a wedding going on at a bomb shelter in Israel as Iran attempted to rain missiles and whatever over Israel. And fortunately, I think they intercepted almost all of the missiles. I think there was only one casualty from shrapnel that came down, and from the the Iron Dome system. And so now the only weird thing about this too is now Biden's sending troops over to the Middle East. I don't know how many. Maybe in the chat. That always concerns me. Iran. It makes me wonder. Is the Biden administration trying to provoke this at all, rather than help something happen? So I don't know. Good morning, Reaction Puerto Rico, you lovely island of tropical breezes. All right, let's move on. Today is also a marked day. Marked, not Marky Mark, but marked. It is National Custodian Day. Yeah! National Custodian Day. And today we are highlighting Angel Ruiz's Volusia County Schools, wherever that is. Where's Volusia County Schools? In Florida. They're celebrating their custodian. Today is National Custodian Day. Today we're highlighting Angel Ruiz Hernandez, head custodian at Deltona High for nearly 10 years. His dedication keeps the campus clean and safe, earning him Custodian of the Year. Oh my goodness. Custodian of the Year. Thank you to all custodians for making a difference today. I wonder, maybe I should do that in my retirement. Go be a school custodian. That'd be kind of cool. We had a really cool custodian in my elementary school, and I wish I could remember his name. But, he was always cleaning and whatever not, and he would interact with the kids. He was just a nice dude, and he was an older dude, too. Not, like, weird interact with the kids. He'd just say hi and high five kids as they walk down the hall, and everyone liked it. I can't remember his name, though. I'm kind of old, so I don't remember shit like that. But anyway, happy National Custodian Day to the best of the best. And this school also highlighting their custodians. So happy National Custodian Day. Moving on, it is also this is going to be an interesting little topic here. Today is also the Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, obviously a very highly recognized name in India, part of the Indian liberation movement. Some people say, though, that he wasn't all that great a guy. Some people think he was a great person. But so I scrolled down this Mahatma Gandhi, topic today. So I'm going to just go through a couple of these posts because it's very interesting. Custodians. The custodians know everything that happens in the school. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. And if there are any teachers who thinking they're having their little private moments with whoever they're having their private moments with, be it another teacher, another student, damn well the custodians know. Thank you for reminding me of that reaction on Puerto Rico. Oh, the custodians know everything. All right, back to Mahatma Gandhi. So I'm gonna just go through a few posts here because it's interesting. The different opinions people have about Mahatma Gandhi. So here it is. According to something Bisguru, non-biological, blah blah blah, Mahatma Gandhi got recognized in the world due to the movie Gandhi, which was probably. I would say whitewash, but they definitely was a pro-Gandhi movie, right? Does he know Gandhi statues have global presence in over 70 countries worldwide, including the United States, in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta, United Kingdom, London, Tavistock Square, Parliament Square, South Africa, a significant statue in Pietermaritzburg, where Gandhi was famously ejected from a train, Australia, statues in Brisbane and Parramatta, and a bust in Burgos. So these are people are celebrating Gandhi, but I want to do this one though. There's one down here. I scrolled down. Okay, here it is. Today is the anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, a man who quietly and effectively united a majority of the vast and fragmented people of India, an ordinary man of towering virtues and shortcomings, and unlike any other in human history. Now, others not so happy about Mahatma Gandhi. This one, Gandhi's racist legacy in Africa. Mahatma Gandhi was born on this day back in 1869 and is widely hailed for his fight against British colonial rule in India. But while he was remembered for fighting for the freedom of his people, the same can't be said for his attitude towards blacks. While living in South Africa, he attempted to align with the white ruling class. He campaigned for Indians living there to be treated better than blacks, who he called savages. It was a callous attempt to gain favor with the ruling authorities. While Gandhi's achievements are, of course, celebrated, this sinister chapter in his life should also not be forgotten. So, just interesting. Not everyone sees him. I mean, granted, for India, he's hailed as a hero, fighting British rule, but it's also a mixed. There's some mixed feelings about Gandhi. So there you go. If you want to read more, you can drop through that scrolling thread. Other things in the news. Now, this one I got a good little chuckle out of because this is breaking yesterday, but that's okay. We can do it today. Taylor Lorenz from the Washington Post has been shit canned. Oh my god! Oh, sorry, Alyssa. I hope you don't have the volume on. My granddaughter's listening to this show, and I just said a word. I hope you don't learn that word. Don't learn that word. Breaking: Taylor Lorenz out at the Washington Post for calling Biden a war criminal. Blogger Taylor Lorenz, and she's, the Washington Post blogger. Blogger Taylor Lorenz has left the Washington Post several weeks after she posted an Instagram story that showed her attending a Joe Biden speech at the White House with the caption, "War criminal." She called Biden a war criminal. Lorenz's departure is being billed as her opportunity to become an internet content creator more than a traditional news reporter. She's starting a Substack called User Magazine. She forgot the L, where she says she will discuss social media from a user perspective. Aww, isn't that cute? Now, then they put a dig at Taylor Lorenz. Lorenz is a 40-plus-year-old New Yorker who often attempts to ingratiate herself within the culture of much younger, often sub-20-year-olds online. What the fuck's wrong with that? Oh, damn it. I can't. Alyssa, turn the volume off or wear earphones. What is wrong with that? I can't do this. I swear on this show, Alyssa, do not let my beautiful granddaughter listen to this. Don't worry, she didn't repeat S-canned. She repeated, sorry, Alyssa. Okay. Okay. Compose myself. Okay, let's go back to this article. She gained notoriety by doxing the Libs TikTok account, which made fun of far-left activists by using their own clips on social media. Lorenz claims to have post-traumatic stress disorder from online harassment and continues to wear COVID-era face masks, often outdoors. Yes, she's the world's greatest, what's the word? I was going to say advocate for long COVID. She's a hypochondriac, and she's weird, and she's not all that bright. And so anyway, we will miss you, Taylor Lorenz. Not moving on. Also in the news, interesting, we're talking about hurricane relief things. And unfortunately for the Biden administration, a Democratic strategist is blasting the Biden-Harris administration for their hurricane response. And this is an article at PJ Media. As we've highlighted here at PJ Media, the Biden-Harris administration response to Hurricane Helene has been nothing short of catastrophic. It's deeply concerning to witness the minimal action is taken in the face of such profound loss and devastation. Now, again, I'm going to put this mild little caveat, right? That what Biden said yesterday is that the states weren't asking for help, which is weird because you'd think they would be. But again, like Florida, Ron DeSantis had all these people in place, and he's sending people to other states to help there too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as far as the media goes. If they're going to blame hurricane response on governors, or if they're going to go like the George W. Bush route and Katrina and blame it on Biden. Because are they getting the criticism? Well, this article says they are. While people grapple with the aftermath of the storm, the federal government appears to be indifferent, offering only the barest semblance of support as if to create the illusion of action without genuinely addressing the suffering of those affected. And the criticism of administration actions or lack thereof is coming from both sides. During an appearance on the Faulkner Focus on Fox News, former Clinton advisor Doug Schoen expressed disbelief at the mainstream response, or excuse me, the administration's response, contrasting the current leadership with that of the past. Let's see if there's a link and we can play it, or is this a long? Let's see here. Let's. This is 11 seconds. Okay, that tells me nothing. What the hell is this? Fox Live. Okay, that's okay. That's why they didn't. The link goes to a live feed. Anyway, here's a quote. I'm speechless, having worked in a White House that was responsive. Vice President Harris and President Biden should have been in North Carolina, he said. They should have been there for substantive reasons. They should have been there for political reasons and personal reasons. Schoen has also blasted the Biden-Harris administration approach to the disaster, remarking, quote, to show this level of cavalier indifference just literally takes my breath away. End quote. Take your breath away. Okay, I shouldn't have. That probably wasn't appropriate. Anyway, host Harris Faulkner also weighed in on the situation, noting the disrespect the White House has shown for those suffering from the storm, especially since the White House has not taken questions regarding its response. That's the craziest part of it. They try to ask him questions and they ignore the questions. Like this, it's like when Biden finishes a speech in the White House, just because he talks for 7 minutes, and then the reporters start asking questions. He just turns around and walks away. Whoops, my microphone. What the hell's going on here? Anyway, so let's see. Now, Gianno Caldwell, another Fox News political analyst, highlighted the blatant double standard media coverage, asserting, quote, the mainstream media would have been all over it if Donald Trump was in the White House doing the exactly what she did. 100%, Faulkner agreed. So they don't have, oh, here's the clip. Let's try this.
Doug, I'm going to start with you. Look, I know that no one can wave a magic wand and fix everything all at once, but you better be pictured trying really hard if you're going to do a photo op.
Harris, I'm speechless. Having worked in a White House that was responsive, whatever other issues it may have had, Vice President Harris and President Biden should have been in North Carolina. They should have been there for substantive reasons. They should have been there for political reasons and personal reasons. Yes, you want to get briefed at FEMA, but if you're in the midst of a tough election campaign where the question is, are you in touch? Do you care? And can you change the way the country is being run to show this level of cavalier indifference just literally takes my breath away.
Yeah, when you talk about that.
All right, so that's a Democratic strategist. That is, what's his name again? Hang on a second. What the hell's his name? His name, he's Mike Schoen from he was part of I think he was part of the Obama administration, wasn't he? No, Clinton. He was a Clinton advisor. Doug Schoen. That's wild. That's wild. And so, that's interesting. And we'll see how that develops. I'm still seeing there's look, go find a way if you find a way to help, but be careful if you're going to give money, be careful who you give money to do, because there's always those people out there, those nasty, dumb people. Anyway, good morning, Shia Grath. How you doing? Nice to have you here, my brother. All right, let's move on. So let's get into the debate, because there's a whole lot of stuff to talk about with the debate, and we'll spend most of the time on that. Again, I am not going to pretty much talk about anything but this, even though I have a few other tabs open, because there's so much to talk about in this debate and so many reactions. So as we scroll down through some of the reactions on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, one of the top topics this morning was Ann Vance, as in Walls and Vance or whatever. And one of the other basically we're going to go through some of the topics that are trending because of the debate. So Ann Vance is trending. So here's someone named George. Hazy tweets. He has 383,000 followers on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Says, my sister, who has never voted before, who also happens to live in Tim Walz's home state of Minnesota, just like me, just informed me that she will be finally registering to vote for Trump and Vance after the debate. She straight told me Tim Walz is evil. Oh. Vance won, Trump won. And now it's interesting. I don't think people normally make their decisions on who to vote for president from vice presidential debates. But maybe this is just a clarifying factor because the Harris-Trump debate kind of left something to be desired, right? Kamala didn't really answer questions. Trump, was Trump. He was himself, and he gave good answers. But there was the moderators in that debate were so just all over him and arguing with him that you'd think that Kamala Harris won because they did Kamala Harris's job for him. And so anyway, here's some examples though. Breaking: Tim Walz just tried to corner. This is from yesterday. J.D. Vance on the rigged and stolen 2020 election. And Vance stood his ground and countered him beautifully. So some people, now it depends on who you ask. Is this a good answer for this question? I thought it was a good answer, but people on the left or the Lincoln Project fucktards or, oh God. Alyssa, put in headphones, please. I did it again. I thought this was a pretty good answer. This isn't the full one, but let's try it. We'll play this one. This is when they were talking about January 6th.
I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
Look at this.
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship. Obviously, Donald Trump and I think that there were problems in 2020. We've talked about it. I'm happy to talk about it further. But you guys attack us for not believing in democracy. The most sacred right under the United States democracy is the First Amendment. You yourself have said there's no First Amendment right to misinformation.
Look at it. Oh, wait, stop. Look at that look. What is that look? What is Walz doing there? he's really pissed off. Oh my God, he's mad. Wow. I didn't catch that the first time. I was listening to J.D. Vance.
It's to use the power of government and big tech to...
No. That's not what Tim Walz was saying. Tim Walz was saying about, disinformation, hate speech, sure. Disinformation or hate speech. That's what he was saying when he made that statement that, free speech is not absolute. You can't do misinformation or hate speech. No, that's false. The First Amendment, regardless... Now, look, hate speech will work itself out, right? People who engage in hate speech will generally be ostracized by people. And you know what I like about hate speech? Clip that. People who use hate speech expose themselves. And I know who the hell to avoid. So, Breby, you're tired, you're poor, and your hate speech, because that First Amendment thing makes me know who I need to tell to go away, okay? But the idea that you should censor somebody is un-American. Period. So there you go.
To silence people from speaking their minds.
Okay, let me make the other point that everyone makes too. You don't have the First Amendment for speech you like, you bonehead. You have it for the speech that you don't like or don't agree with. Everyone has their say. And you know what? If you say something stupid, I want to hear it because I might get a better laugh at you. Anyway.
That is a threat to democracy that will long outlive this present political moment. I would like Democrats and Republicans to both reject censorship.
Look at him. He's what? Okay, I'm gonna go back just a little bit. Watch Tim Walz while look at that look. What? Look at that look Watch Tim Walz while J.D. Vance is speaking. He looks like he's you ever watch? Okay, I'm dating myself again, and and Bill Cosby. Shouldn't bring up Bill Cosby, but Bill Cosby had a comedy routine. It was Bill Cosby himself. I think it was in that one, and he did this routine, or he did this joke about how his wife, I guess, was pregnant or something, and she I don't remember what it was, but she at some point she got so mad at him that she grabbed his lower lip and pulled it over his head to get him to shut up, and she had his face like this. That's the face Tim Walz is making right now. It is hilarious. He's just losing it. So anyway, that's the face of a senior non-commissioned officer makes when a junior enlisted just called on his bullshit. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's wow. But watch his face just during this segment. Just don't even look at J.D. Vance. Look at watch Tim Walz.
Information. Kamala Harris wants to use the power of government and big tech to silence people from speaking their minds. That is a threat to democracy that will long outlive this present political moment. I would like Democrats and Republicans to both reject censorship. Let's persuade one another. Let's argue about ideas, and then let's come together afterwards.
And it's so funny because when Vance is watching and Walz is speaking, Vance just has a calm, cool, collected look on his face. He's just kind of like, and Walz is like, you know, it's just, it's funny. It's painful.
Afterwards.
You can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
Yes, you can. Especially if the theater's on fire. But that is even a misnomer. That is a myth that myth has grown for years, right? No, you can yell. You can yell fire in a crowded theater. That's not a Supreme Court decision. Sorry.
That's the test. That's the Supreme Court
test. No, it's not the test. No, it's not the test at all. It's not the test at all. You cannot slander somebody. And there have been some exceptions for actual incitement, not like January 6th, dopey bastards. But yeah, that's not a test at all. That's a lie.
Fire in a crowded theater. You guys wanted to kick people off of Facebook for saying that toddlers shouldn't wear masks.
Senator, the governor does have the floor.
Fire in a crowded theater. That is criticizing the policy.
That was one of the rare times during this debate that the moderators told Tim Walz to zip it. This was very rare times. But most of the time they were cutting off J.D. Vance.
Of the government, which is the right of every American.
Senator,
all right, so that I thought that was a pretty good answer. By the way, let's see. Someone here says Walz was the 82% favorite on Polymarket to win the debate going in. Now, since the debate began, he's underwater and Vance is the favorite. All right, we're going to move on because other things trending because of this debate, though. Tiananmen Square. There was a question about Tiananmen Square. Apparently, Tim Walz at some point had said that he was in Hong Kong at the time of the Tiananmen Square massacre. And this answer, this topic alone brought us a bevy of highlights from the debate. Here we go.
Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of...
In other words, he lied.
1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year.
Now, listen to the first... I'm going to play it again because listen to the first date. What year?
Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong.
The protests were in July.
During the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of
spring. In the spring of that year. That's when the Tiananmen Square protests were. And what did NPR say he was there? Not NPR. MPR, as in Minnesota Public Radio, the local NPR affiliate.
89. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year.
Now, is August spring? Just let's clarify right now. Is August in the springtime? I think, let me check my calendar here. No, it's not. Okay.
Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural.
Oh, he's going with the Kamala Harris answer. You know, her answer when we're in trouble. I grew up in a middle-class family. What's the question? And why did he start with I grew up in a small rural community?
Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska.
I was son of a poor black sharecropper.
A town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on.
If
and
you
I'm
know what that reference is, type in the chat.
Proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17.
What does this have to do whether or not you were in Tiananmen Square in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre? What does this have to do with anything she just asked you?
Worked on family farms.
Okay,
and then
family farm.
Used the GI Bill.
Okay, great. Use the GI Bill.
A young teacher.
Okay.
My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that.
Like 17 times he traveled to China. How does a teacher travel to China 17 times? Oh, that's right. He made this kind of organization. Anyway.
I came back home and then started a program to take young people there.
Okay.
We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now look, my community knows who I am. They saw where
When were you in Hong Kong during Tiananmen Square massacre? That's the question.
I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times.
Oh! That's the name of the stream. I'm a knucklehead. Again, what does this have to do with the question? Hello, K-Shell, what's up? I am a knucklehead.
But it's always been about that.
Wait a minute. I've been a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. What does that mean?
Tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that.
About
Those
what?
same people elected me to Congress.
So what? What? Again, the question was, tell us about the discrepancy of you saying you were in Hong Kong during the massacre at Tiananmen Square when that massacre was in the spring of the year and you weren't there until August. That was the question. Oh, my answer? Well, I'm a knucklehead at times.
For 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people.
What does this have to do with Tiananmen Square?
Working on things like farm bills that we got done.
What does it have to do with Tiananmen Square?
Working on veterans benefits.
Tiananmen Square.
And then the people of Minnesota
Tiananmen Square.
Twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning.
Tiananmen Square.
To make sure that I'm there for the people.
Tiananmen Square. Sure that I look at JD. Now here JD's trying not to laugh. Because the question's going through his head too. Hello, boneheaded dumbass. What's up?
That's right. I will say more than anything. Many times.
Lies. Lies.
Why the fuck you lying?
Lies.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there.
And so I'll tell falsehoods when I talk a lot and get caught up in the rhetoric. Is that what it is?
Gotcha, bitch.
The impact it made, the difference it made in my life. I learned a lot about
Tiananmen
China.
Square.
I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that
Tiananmen
Donald
Square.
Trump should come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And
Alyssa, cover my granddaughter's ears, the one who's learning, who knows words. Motherfucker, you have come back praising the political system in China. You have for years talked about how some things that they do in China we should try to do here. So you babbling on about Trump praising Xi Jinping early in the pandemic, which they thought they claimed to have things under control. You have no room to talk. Mister, I've traveled to China dozens of times because I think it's such a wonderful place. I was there during the massacre at Tiananmen Square. You weren't. And you still haven't answered the friggin' question.
I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand.
Now you're going to notice something that shocked me. Keep listening. This is going to shock you.
And what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So
No, you didn't. Here, give me a moment here. Just maybe, I have this clip. Just a second, because I don't have. I need to put it in my. I need to put this one in my soundboard. But let me just see if it's right here.
You were lying your ass off.
That's the one. That's the one right there. That's the one. I need to put that on my soundboard. You were lying your ass off. By the way, did anyone figure out what the reference was? I'm scrolling up. I don't see it anywhere. I was the son of a poor black sharecropper. I was born the son of a poor. Nobody knows that one? No, I said if you know the reference. I was born the son of a poor black sharecropper. Oh, that's one of the great movie lines of all time. Anyway, that's that was his answer on Tiananmen Square. By the way, if you want, here's something for you. Let me is this it right here? Let me pause this. Here's
a young man, I was just going to teach high school in Fosan in Guangdong, and was in Hong Kong in May of '89. And as the events were unfolding, several of us went in, and I still remember the train station in Hong Kong. It was a large number of.
What month did he say? What month did he say? What month did he say? Let's
As a young man, I was just going to teach high school in Fosan in Guangdong, and was in Hong Kong in May of '89. And as the events were unfolding, several of us went in, and I still remember the train station in Hong Kong. It was a large number, especially European, I think, very angry that we would still go after what had happened. But it was my belief at that time that the diplomacy was going to happen on many levels, certainly people to people, and the opportunity to be in a Chinese high school at that critical time seemed to me to be really important. And it was a very interesting summer, to say the least, because if you recall, as we moved in that summer and further on, and the news blackouts and things that went on, you certainly can't black out news from people if they want to get it. And I can still clearly remember the fall when the Berlin Wall fell. As a young man,
I can clearly remember, he says. Wow, that's amazing. Hello, selective boy. Yeah, boy. And also Jay Legato, welcome. And yes, that is from The Jerk. Finally, somebody caught it. Okay, that's awesome. You got to be old to remember that shit. Okay, so anyway, Tiananmen Square. Another thing trending, Knucklehead, obviously from that same little exchange, so we'll skip that trending topic. Other things trending because of it. Guns are trending because there was a moment. Now, this is the NR. Now, let's just see, because I'm going to I'm going to take a couple different posts from this. This is what the NRA took out of this exchange about guns and gun violence, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. This is the NRA, what they clipped.
Senator, thank you. Governor, you previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA.
Wait, what? Excuse me. Let me run that back a little bit. What did he just say?
An assault weapons ban, but only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time. They used to.
Okay, I need to hear it one more time because I think he said I was friends with school shooters.
Senator, thank you. Governor, you previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time.
Clearly you misspoke. But that's probably not the best way to misspeak. I just got to say but so the NRA highlights that, to which they say Tim Walz claimed tonight the NRA used to teach gun safety. To no one's surprise, Walz is lying again. The NRA remains the premier gun safety organization with more than 100,000 certified instructors and a variety of firearm safety and training courses for all ages. To name a few, Gold Standard Personal Protection Courses, Anti-Eagle Gun Safe Program, Hunter Safety and Education Program, NRA School Shield Program, and Women on Target Clinics. So, interesting. Now, let's see what the let's say what the blue side says. Again, Mackie, sometimes it's just the gun. Tim's Walz, public service announcement. It's never just the gun. Someone has to pull the trigger. Oh, yeah, that was another one. Thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, who dropped a deuce in the tip jar. We'll clean that up later. Says, how did the good people of Minnesota elect that clown? Because Minnesota is a very heavily weighted state towards the Twin Cities and Duluth and Rochester, because that's the major population, and the rural population has been dwindling. And especially the Twin Cities, is just, there's a radio host on one of the conservative radio shows here. They used to call the Twin Cities liberal lakes. Liberal because there's lakes in the middle of Minneapolis, but it's just it used to be, here they call them the DFL, Democrat Farmer Labor Party, and then the Republicans, the independent Republicans they call it, but it's the Republicans, and the Independent Farmer Labor Party used to be so strong in northern Minnesota. Remember, this is the one state. What was it? Reagan's landslide victory, and this is the only state that didn't vote for Reagan. I mean, this has always been kind of California light, but California heavy when it comes to politics. But that's changing. You drive around rural Minnesota now, or even just small towns that are the far reach suburbs, like where my daughter lives, and you see Trump signs everywhere. Although this last time I was up there were quite a few Harris signs, but it's definitely changed, and Minnesota's coming close to being purple, but for whatever reason, they've elected this weirdo twice. So there you go. Other things on this one, though. Let's see. Again, Tim Walz lying when he says he won't take away your guns. So this is the Minnesota Star Tribune. Tim Walz full record on guns, which has this little part highlighted down here. He says he won't take away your guns, but and after listening to Hard to Minnesotans, I support an assault weapons ban. Well, the whole assault weapons thing. First of all, I'm not familiar with the AR platform that much. Other than when I was in this Marine Corps platoon leaders course, we shot M16s because that's how old I am, and they have burst fire capabilities, and some have full automatic fire capabilities, but mostly just burst fire. And I don't think the M16s had full automatic, but they had burst fire capabilities. And but that's just a waste of bullets anyway. But there's no platform made right now that matches what military weapons can do, at least out of the box. Now, certainly people have capabilities using bomb stocks or belts to do more rapid fire, but they're just like some of the semi-automatic sport rifles. Yeah, they're like I mean, basically they're glorified 22 in some ways, although I think they have a farther range, but that have less recoil because the spring action, and also the what's the other part that makes them special? I don't know, but they just look scary, I guess, because they're certainly just traditional wooden looking firearms that also have burst fire is only useful for Barbie rounds, the 5.56. Okay, I don't know. I don't know my weapons well. I have one weapon. It's a 1873 Springfield 4570 trap door. So that mine only shoots one at a time, and I have to reload it every time. So, and I've never used it. I'm going to use it. I bought firing pins. I'm dropping them in there. We're gonna one of these days, Jess, I want to go deer hunting with you with that weapon. Anyway, all right. Let's see. National Association for Gun Rights. Sometimes it's just the gun. Here's the just the guns comment.
But I want to be very careful. This idea of stigmatizing mental health, just because you have a mental health issue doesn't mean you're violent. And I think what we end up doing is we start looking for a scapegoat. Sometimes it just is the guns.
No, it's not just the guns, because the guns have to have someone on using it. A gun doesn't just jump up itself and go do a school shooting, okay? And but see, this person considers that Tim Walz's incredible, compassionate answer on solving gun violence without targeting disabled people. Well, aren't you the same guy who want to do background checks, mental health checks on everybody? Make up your mind. Because, some of these people that they, who have done these shootings that were on the FBI radar, what would you have done with them? Would you have told, you didn't, the FBI didn't do anything to stop those people. It's just, well, in a Tim Walz word, weird. Another thing trending about the debate, liar, liar, Vance on fire. Okay, they got into a little talk about January 6th. And it's funny. The January 6th thing is such a one-sided topic because of the January 6th committee. The media have only shown a certain aspect of January 6th and a very extremely limited aspect of January 6th. And so as far as, and now during this debate, they were talking about January 6th and the peaceful transfer of power. And J.D. Vance said, which is accurate, that once granted January 6th happened, but once that the court battles were going nowhere further, there was a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. January 20th, 2021. There was a peaceful transfer of power. Okay. January 6th is not the date of the transfer of power. They were there to protest what they believed were faults with the voting system. Now, whether they're right or wrong, they tried to go through a legal process. But this is one of those places where the left is talking. So, for example, here's this fact check that they did. Now, let's go into fact check first, because this is a point in the debate where here it is. Breaking: CBS moderators just tried to fact check Vance, but he stopped them in their tracks and fact checked them instead. So here's this point where this fact check comes up. Let's do this first, because this is where people are saying, J.D. Vance is a liar. They fact checked him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's the point in the debate where this happened.
temporary protected status.
Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn now to the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to
we're-
fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP-1 app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris.
Look at. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop that. But when they cut, every time they cut to Walls, look at his face. I'm not even going to listen to what J.D. Vance says here. They tried to fact check him, and he fact checked them back. Okay, that's the point of this clip. But look, when they cut to Tim Walls listening.
You guys weren't going to fact check.
Here
and
it comes.
Since you're fact checking
Wait for
me,
it.
I think it's important to say what's actually going
Wait
on.
for it.
So there's an application called the CBP-1 app, where you can go on
Here it
as
comes.
an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole,
Here it
and
is.
be granted legal status at
Right
the wave
now.
of
Oh
a
my
Kamala
God.
Harris open
What
border
is going
wall.
on with
That
him?
is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That
Thank
is
you,
the
Senator.
facilitation of illegal immigration.
So anyway, they tried to fact check him on the fact that the Haitians and some of these immigrants have legal status. Of course, they take this CBP, or not CBP, the one app, and now the people who normally are crossing the border illegally, right? All these people that would be crossing the border illegally, now they give them an app where they are from, and give them the same option to ask for asylum, but without any reason to ask for asylum, and then they fly them here. so they don't have to come across the southern border, do an illegal border crossing. Instead of that, they just go get them and fly them here by using the CBP-1 app. So basically, they're basically, instead of having to walk all that way through several countries to cross the border illegal, we'll just fly you over here. But they still don't have the legal. Again, what's the word you have to know to cross our border illegally? And once you get caught, what's the word you have to know? Asylum. That's the only word, the English language, the English version of the word asylum. That's the only word you have to know. And then they'll process you. And that's what this whole fucking, this whole border bill that they keep talking about, this was the toughest border bill ever. No, H.R. 2 was the toughest border bill ever presented to Congress, which passed the House but got held up in the Senate. This crap bill that they did in the Senate in an election year, because everyone needed to look like they were doing something, just made it easier to process more illegal border crossers faster, or guide those people who are going to cross the border illegally to a port of entry where they could process them faster, even though they had no legitimate asylum claims. You don't have to have a legitimate asylum claim. You just have to be able to say asylum, and then they're going to sort it out 9 months, 3 years, 7 years, however many years later. But after you've been here 6 or 7 years, they say, we would have got more judges and we'd have had cases done in 90 days. That is a crock of bull pucky, because I can't say the other word because my granddaughter's listening. So anyway, that was one of the fact checks. So, and that's where, but a lot of people, when they saw that, right, they're saying, that this is J.D. Vance. Oh my gosh, he lied. So there was a fact check. Now let me give you an example of how the left views the J.D. Vance, as far as this is the liar, liar, Vance on fire with Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow, Russia, Rachel, and Nicole Wallace.
And continue to lie about these people. He said they were brought in through something called the CBP-1 app, and that is an app that immigrants can use to come in and get a certain kind of visa. That was
no. It's not a certain type of visa. It's just a certain type of status. I mean, sort of. I guess they've created it so they can just let more people flow in because they know the word asylum.
Launched in 2020 under drum roll, Donald Trump. He says that.
Right, but it wasn't used in this way then. They didn't say, oh, here, let's disseminate this out into the world and start flying these people in on our dime. That's the difference. It's being used in a way that was not intended. Joy. Holy shit. Sorry.
That he never supported a national abortion ban. I have here a printout that is already circulating all over social media.
Oh, gee, it's on social media. Well, there you go. That's definitive. And maybe he did. I don't care. He didn't claim he didn't. But
this
whatever.
This is from the campaign website of J.D. Vance when he ran for the United States Senate.
And
it is headlined "End."
Right. Now, does end abortion mean that you're in favor of a nationwide ban? Because remember, J.D. Vance was he was one of those 15-week people. End abortion. Look, shouldn't you, regardless if you're pro-choice or pro-life, wouldn't you prefer to end abortions? Like, wouldn't that be the ultimate outcome of ending abortions? Like, I don't know, if you're pro-choice, if it's through birth control or whatever, everyone should want to end abortions, especially unnecessary ones. Like obviously, if someone's going through a medical crisis and that's the only way to save, the life of the mother or whatever, or even the baby, I don't know, whatever. That's not what most people talk about, although they always bring up the extreme reasons. But the overwhelming majority of abortions are just elective abortions where someone gets pregnant and they're like, I can't do this. And I get it. I understand that. This is why I'm not completely against the practice, but I kind of think there should be some kind of limits. And I don't think you should force the Sisters of the Poor to include it in their insurance coverage. Why would you? Okay, so you're the Sister of the Poor, the nuns, the Catholic nuns. You're the Sisters of the Poor, and you require try to require the Sisters of the Poor to cover abortions in their health care plan. The Sisters of the Poor nuns, you have to cover. You're going to force Catholics to cover abortions in their health care plan. I don't think that's right. And if you need that type of coverage, maybe you shouldn't you should not be an office administrator for the Sisters of the Poor, because the nuns aren't stupid. So they're of course there's. Never mind. I'm not going to make that joke because that would be really offensive. Sometimes anyway, I'm not telling that joke. But anyway, end abortion should be on the agenda. Now, whether or not it's from a legal standpoint, I don't, that's not the point I'm making.
Abortion. He says he's 100% pro-life, believes abortion has turned our society into a place where we see children as an inconvenience, on and on and on.
Okay. And it kind of isn't that's what 99% of abortions are, for convenience, and then a tiny percentage are for dire medical reasons. A tiny portion are for dire human situational reasons, aka the violation of people against their will. Word you can't say on YouTube. I get those. I completely get those. I think that you should be able to go use a morning after pill after something like that or whatever. I don't. That's not a problem to me. But reducing the number of abortions by educating some people on birth control, or just stop effing. But you know what I mean? You would think that even Planned Parenthood would say, well, what would be better? We have better birth control and fewer abortions, or we should have more abortions. Well, Planned Parenthood makes a lot of money on abortions, so that's a stupid place to ask. But actual ethical people, everyone should want to end the rate of abortions. They used to say rare. What did they say? Legal and rare. That used to be everyone's mantra. We want them to be legal but rare. I don't. Whatever. Okay, what else did Joy Reid say?
Also gave one of the quotes, I would certainly like to see abortion illegal nationally. He also said he was sympathetic to the view that a national ban would be necessary to stop women from traveling across states to obtain an abortion. So he's in favor of a sort of fugitive slave act to stop abortions.
Oh, my God, woman. Stop.
So he said that as well. He blamed undocumented immigrants for everything from rising house prices, rising food prices, inflation.
Yes, in Springfield, Ohio, the cost of rents have skyrocketed because landlords have been able to remove people who've had leases or ending leases and get more money because they can rent rooms instead of entire dwellings at a much higher rate than they can just renting out a dwelling, because the federal government funds the housing of many of these illegal migrants. So if the federal government is funding it and you're competing with the federal government to try to rent an apartment in Springfield, Ohio, well, guess what? The illegal immigrants, or whether you call them illegal or partially illegal or CPB1 or whatever, if the government will pay $600 for each person per month versus a place you were renting for $600, and they can rent a house to 6 people at $600 each, they're making 6 times more than they were renting it to your sorry ass. So yes, that increases the price of housing. And in fact, people who want to buy homes, well, guess what? Some of these landlords or some of these people who just want to make some extra money might want to buy an extra house so they can rent it out to the Haitians who get free government money to rent your fucking house. So yes, the competition for all housing goes up when you have the government paying for illegal immigrants to live in your fucking neighborhood. Got it, Joy? Yes, that is one of the features of this particular immigration crisis.
And maybe ghosts and bad weather. I mean, he was blaming undocumented...
Ghosts and bad weather? No, he didn't.
...immigrants for every single thing. I think Tim Walz was really skillful in knocking those things down individually because he was speaking as a governor and could speak from his own experience. He did a great job talking about how...
Okay, anyway, this is part of the Pants on Fire. The Pants on Fire, J.D. Vance Pants on Fire, whatever. Undecided also trended because CNN decided to have some undecided voters talk about who they think that won the debate. And this particular undecided voter that is being highlighted quite often. Now, as I don't know what to think of this group of undecided voters here, but apparently... Some people think they may not have been undecided before they came here, but this one in particular.
All 7 of you came in undecided. One of you said they've made up their mind. Ryan.
Oh, the one who made up his mind after this debate. Now, you let me know if you think this was an undecided.
Who are you going to vote for, and what kind of solidified that opinion?
Well, I'm going to be voting for Kamala Harris. You know, one of the stark sort of aspects of that debate that really stuck with me was when they were talking about January 6th and how Mike Pence certified the election, and they were wondering if J.D. Vance would certify the election should Trump lose.
Whoa, wait a minute. I forgot about this part. Did you hear what he just said? That Mike Pence would not certify the election, blah, 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 and they're wondering if J.D. Vance would certify the election if Trump should lose. Well, how the hell is he going to do that? He's not the vice president. Now, granted, he's in the Senate. But why would you even ask that question? Why would you even ask that question? If he does or not. Anyway, do you think this guy was undecided in advance, though? I'm doubting it.
And, you know, J.D. Vance didn't really give us a definitive answer. And
how can you give a definitive answer on something you don't know? What if there is proven massive election fraud in 2024? Should Kamala Harris certify the election? If it's obvious, proven election fraud, and it caused, let's say that election fraud was in one state, they caught it, before January 6th, everyone knows it happened, there's no doubt that it happened, and that particular state, if it goes the other way, would make Donald Trump the president instead of Kamala Harris. Would Kamala Harris certify the election? Just curious.
I'm disappointed in that fact. And
also,
okay, so apparently out of the 7, he's the only one who made a decision based on the debate. So everyone's making fun of him. Other things trending. I'm going to get through this. We got fact check. Marcus, apparently I think this is over at MSNBC. Now, I doubt if any of these people were undecided, but they're apparently on a college campus. I'm curious how they decide to have this group put together. But Marcus apparently does a takedown of something J.D. Vance said. Let's see how well Marcus does here.
We were talking, Marcus, about this constant criticism about the vice president not being able, about the vice president being in office for these last, he's already upset about it. The vice president being in office for all these years and not being able to make the change was the allegation from J.D. Vance.
Okay, now J.D. Vance did that again where he's saying the Harris administration, she didn't do this, she didn't do that, when we know it's the Biden administration, right? But I'm pretty sure it's Biden-Harris, right? And I'm pretty sure that Kamala Harris always is the last person in the room, and Biden put her in charge of all these things, immigration in particular. So did she ever suggest any of these ideas that because the country's going so bad that she has all these new ideas and we want to move forward and la. Did she ever make a suggestion to the president? Hey, we gotta, this kind of sucks. Should we do this thing that I'm talking about in my campaign? Did you ever suggest any of those things? That's where I take it. But let's see. This drives him crazy because
You said to me, I've been to high school civics class. Why did you say that?
Because if anybody took high school civics class, they'd know what the vice president can do and what the vice president can do.
Make suggestions.
I want to make a quick...
Wait a minute. Yeah, with a normal president, I would agree with that. But we're talking Joe Biden here. The addled one. The brain-addled one. But anyway, I know what he's going with this.
Point. Neither candidate on that stage talked about what executive action they're going to take on day one to do what they want. Oh. Nor were they asked because they know that they can't. That's not how the vice presidency works. You don't get to do what you want. You do what the president delegates you to do. So that
and Joe Biden says he delegated everything to Kamala Harris, domestic and foreign policy and immigration. He just said that the other day that I delegated foreign policy to Kamala Harris and I delegated domestic policy to Kamala Harris, and she was the border czar that she wasn't the border czar.
One day Marcus is going to be all.
Okay, so anyway, everyone's talking about Marcus. Marcus, congratulations, you got your 15 minutes. Nicole Wallace is also trending. Now, let's hear Nicole Wallace. If you needed more proof that Vance won big, Nicole Wallace meltdown, prove it. Let's see. This is only 21 seconds of Nicole Wallace melting down, but let's see what this is.
It's the audacity. I agree with you that we're in year 9 and no one knows how to cover the audacity. Mm-hmm. The audacity is that someone should have said, stop it, stop. Are you effing kidding me? And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right? I mean, they should have just, this is the debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference.
I have no idea what she said there. I don't know what that means. Let's see if somebody else has it. These are her epic meltdown. Media reaction after the J.D. Vance-Tim Walz debate. Geraldo Rivera, J.D. Vance won the debate. NBC, does Tim Walz have a problem with the truth? Oh, shit. Chris Wallace, J.D. Vance fact-checked the moderators. He was right. John King, Vance carried the important issues. Jake Tapper, J.D. Vance is a better debater. MSNBC, live meltdown. Here's their meltdowns. Hang on. There we go.
There is no doubt in my mind, however Governor Walz did in terms of sincerity, that Vance won this debate.
Does Governor Walz have a problem with the truth? No.
They were talking at one point. Vance wanted to correct something about how Haitians got into this country. And he was right, and the moderators wouldn't let him correct it. It's very interesting.
But at the beginning, the two issues driving the campaign right now are Harris has a big deficit on the economy, Harris has a big deficit on immigration, and Republicans were happy tonight and Democrats a little bit nervous that on those two issues, Vance carried it.
J.D. Vance is much more experienced at this, at public speaking, at defending himself, at pivoting.
Hold up. I call bullshit on Jake Tapper. That's a crock of shit. Sorry, listen. How does J.D. Vance have more experience at this? He's a first-term senator who has never been in politics before. Versus Tim Walz, 6-term congressman, 2-term governor of Minnesota. Are you telling me that Tim Walz has never had to debate anything? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Tapper? Holy Moses. What are you talking about? Now we know that J.D. Vance won the debate. Just by that. So that was Nicole Wallace trending. Mansplaining's trending too. She's accusing J.D. Vance of mansplaining to the moderators. Hey, there were no other moderators to correct.
Like muting powers.
Yeah,
and I actually think if you're a woman, that might be the worst moment J.D. Vance had, because he was going to mansplain right over that mute button. He was, and again...
it's mansplaining, not just calling out biased moderators. Give me a break. Shut up. So that's trending. Chris Cuomo's trending for what he said about the debate. Let's do 1 minute of Chris Cuomo here. Hang on. Even though you got part of it, here's Chris Cuomo.
When they were talking, at one point, Vance wanted to correct something about how Haitians got into this country. And he was right, and the moderators wouldn't let him correct it. It's very interesting.
Margaret,
but thank you,
Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important
we're
because
going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Now notice something. While he's talking there, and this is in this one exchange, he's explaining his position. As soon as Tim Walz opens his mouth, they go silent to let us hear what Tim Walz has to say. And this was at a point where they were supposed to change topics. Listen.
Out of the economy, thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to fact
this part,
check.
the
And
next
since you're
part, the
fact
next
checking
one.
me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on.
This cut right here.
Senator.
Facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by
Thank
our
you,
own
Senator, for
leadership.
describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
we want to have...
app has not been on the books.
Since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, you're...
Okay, so then they mute them. That's whatever. Let's finish this. Let's finish this Chris Cuomo though.
The audience can't hear you because your mics are cut.
Well, there you have it. And look, Vance
what
was
happened
right.
to Chris Cuomo, man?
Okay. There's nuance to it.
I am so proud of him.
The bigger problem is why he was moved on. We've got so much to get to. This is who? You know what I mean? Like, what is the schedule here? So you have a list of topics? That's not what it's about. It's about how the American people can access these two men and the two theories and the narratives, and you got to let them have their speak, because now you created a story where you're the problem.
Okay, so anyway, good on Chris Cuomo for that. And then finally, Megyn Kelly. Let's hear Megyn Kelly's take on the debate, and then we're going to just I have a bunch of articles open, but unfortunately I'm not going to get to them today, which is fine. Most are about the debate, but there's all kinds of other stuff. You can check the links at the end of the show. Here's Megyn Kelly's take on the debate.
Hey everyone, I'm Megyn Kelly. Welcome to the Megyn Kelly Show.
Wait a minute. Avocados Diabli, how you doing, my friend? I just noticed you are here. By the way, I specifically put this clip on for you. I just know. I know. This one's for you, Avocados Diabli.
Hey everyone, I'm Megyn Kelly. Welcome to the Megyn Kelly Show and our special live coverage of the vice presidential debate between Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The moderators were not much better. They were a little better than ABC News.
Dave.
But J.D. Vance put on a masterclass in how to handle biased moderators and a lying opponent. And it was a thing of beauty. It was beautiful. It was like,
okay.
Every Republican or Republican voter or person who, in this case, is rooting for Trump knows exactly what I am feeling right now, which is just, thank God. It just listening to a guy go out there and know how to raise the right points in response to the right questions.
Now, I'm going to stop her for just a moment, just so Avocados Diabli can look at her longer. And also so that I don't think J.D. Vance is the greatest at this, but he is good at handling moderators who are pushing against him. He's, and I don't mean like, No, not that kind. Okay. I do think, though, that there is one person who's even way better at it because he knows he can churn out the right facts at the time, and that's Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay. And that was why I thought, even though I have questions about Vivek, I think he would have been a better vice presidential candidate than J.D. Vance. However, he's also slightly bombastic. J.D. Vance is very calm, kind of a balance for Donald Trump. And I don't mean bombastic in a bad way for Vivek, but he's very verbose, very, but as far as facts and pushing back at things, I think he's way better. But J.D. Vance has done very well. I'm happy with J.D. Vance.
To not take the moderator's bullshit. It was really cleansing. It was just, you never see it. It's just so great to see. The moderators are gross. Margaret Brennan, not only do you desperately need some bronzer, you need to understand how to moderate a fair debate.
Oh, no.
When you have half the country
no, she didn't say that.
Who's rooting for the other guy.
Oh my
she
God.
didn't even attempt to be fair. I mean, I'm going to utter words I never thought I would utter. I preferred Norah O'Donnell.
Okay, so there you go. All right. There are a few articles in the links today, mostly New York Post editorials. Tim Walz, rocked by cool J.D. Vance, admits I'm a knucklehead during genial debate. Yeah, I don't think you want the main quote that comes out about you after a debate to be, I'm a knucklehead. Okay, that should be in headlines all across the country, but I'm sure it won't be in Minnesota. Also, another one by Michael Goodwin. J.D. Vance only boosted Donald Trump Republicans, while bug-eyed Tim Walz hampered Kamala Harris's chances at the vice presidential debate. Okay, these are all, I've already read these, but I can't read them. I don't have time to read them here. The ridiculous fact check of a true statement said during the debate where he corrected the fact checkers with the fact check of his own. And the liberal media panned Tim Walz's vice presidential debate performance. ABC News anchor compares it to Biden's disastrous showdown against Trump. Is this the, how long is this? 34 seconds? We'll do 34 seconds. What's this in? Volume.
An execution here on Walz's part. I think there was a clear lack of preparation and execution here on Walz's part.
Oh my God! If she's saying, oh, you can't see the whole thing. If she's saying there's a clear lack of preparation on Walz's part, you know Vance won this debate.
I think he had too much preparation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're making excuses for Tim Walz. And this is CNN. They're making excuses for Tim Walz.
Things that he was clearly trying to say,
Yeah.
that he didn't listen and said when J.D. Vance said one of the many things he really hit Kamala Harris on, not Tim Walz, but Kamala Harris, he didn't respond because he clearly had things in his mind. I think the lack of interviews that he has done with national media.
That's a bone of contention with all the CNN people, that these motherfuckers are not doing interviews. They don't like that, and they've been critical of them. And it's weird to see CNN personalities critical of Democrats. It just doesn't happen, except for like the one guy that they bring on to be the foil for all the other, liberal loonies.
Yeah, with local media, it showed he needed more reps.
So anyway, yeah, that's not good. Where's the ABC one? I think. All right, I'm going to do it. I don't have time. Anyway, so more things. Front page, why Walz Tiananmen Square lie matters. PJ Media, Tim Walz gets spanked in debate with J.D. Vance. Breitbart, the right-wing media is very happy with J.D. Vance today. Moderator slam for awful, obvious craptastic bias in VP debate. That's in Breitbart. Daily Caller, J.D. Vance might cut as he tries to counter moderator's fact check on Springfield migrants. That we already saw that. Daily Caller, nervous as hell, bewildered Walz emerges from media quarantine only to get shelled by Vance. Yeah, the right-wing media is pretty happy. Washington Free Beacon, dad in headlights, Knucklehead, Tim Walz bumbles through primetime debate with a smooth J.D. Vance. Yeah. I should have had some smooth music going for that one. Yeah, the faces that Tim Walz was making, I mean, it was weird. Weird, remember that word? Also, Breitbart, CBS, CNN polls say J.D. Vance beat Tim Walz in debate. Here it is. CBS News poll and CNN poll following the vice presidential debate on Tuesday night showed that J.D. Vance beat Tim Walz by varying margins. The CBS poll, done in concert with YouGov, found that 42% believe J.D. Vance won the debate and 41% for Tim Walz. Interactive, that's that one. CNN poll, 51 Vance, 49 Walz. So anyway, there you go. And there's a few other articles, but that's it. I'm not doing any more talking because I got to go. I am putting the link also to my favorite aggregator, JJ Sefton at Ace of Spades blog in the links today, which I'm about to drop into the chat if this thing will ever pop up. And fickle. I'm not fickle, motherfucker. Notice how I mumbled that word, realizing who was listening. Here are today's links, folks. Today's links from the show and beyond. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow. Who knows if I'm going to do anything else about this. I have a story to tell, though. I have a story to tell about Lady Boomer's experience with the purse she lost. I told you about that yesterday. Or no, I told you about that Monday. We found the purse, or at least we think we have. I'll do a separate show specifically for that story. It's wild. That's called a foreshadowing. Okay, I got to go. Thanks. Got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. You have a wonderful effing day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.